Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie. Today we're going to be doing a part 2 to my last video about DedCool. The last video was about their bestsellers, so I want to talk about their newer launches, their kind of hidden gems, if you will, and yeah, let's just get into it. So DedCool is a cruelty-free, vegan, clean beauty brand. They sell it at Sephora. Their fragrances are oil-based, so there's no water in any of their fragrances, which would make them last longer, ideally. I purchased a build your own sample tin off the DedCool website and put the other 6 of the other fragrances in it, and then I also bought a sample of Aura separately. And they come in this little tin. It's super cute. It has their DedCool logo, and then it has all the fragrance notes on the back, just like a synopsis basically of all of the fragrance notes. I don't actually have Aura in here, but I'll just show it to you. Hopefully they don't fall out like last time, but super cute. So let's start with what I imagine is probably the most exciting of all of these, and that is Aura. So Aura is a pear and caramel fragrance, but to me this smells just like a sour green juicy apple with a little bit of like a clean musky quality to it. It's actually really nice. I think it's really quite yummy, honestly. Like it's sour, like it's tangy, and it kind of leaves like a tang in your mouth when you smell it. It's super fresh and bright and juicy, and I think this would be lovely in spring and summer. It might be good in the fall too if you live in a warmer climate, I feel like. I mean, you could wear any fragrance in any weather, it's just that it's more of like a lighter scent, so it'll project more in the summer when it's hotter, but it's really quite nice. I think if you like fruity, juicy fragrances, I think you'll quite like this one actually. But let's look at the notes. So according to the tin, the notes are pear, cedar, and caramel. I think if you like Chance Eau Fraiche or the Eau Tendre, I think you would like these. If you would like this fragrance, like a Gen Z take on Chance Eau Tendre or whatever from Chanel. So I think if you like those scents or that scent profile, I think you'll really like this one. With all of DedCool's fragrances and with a lot of natural, clean fragrances as well, you are kind of sacrificing longevity and projection for those natural ingredients, which is just something to be aware of when you're purchasing any of these. Just don't go into it expecting beast mode performance. Like, unfortunately, that's just not what you're gonna get. However, it does smell very nice, and if you get these little ones, you can easily just take them in your bag and reapply throughout the day. I'm getting a little bit more of the cedar, like a woody quality as it dries down, but it's still just a nice pop of fruity juiciness. It's delicious, honestly. The cedar is really nice, actually. It's starting to smell kind of like an apple tree, I would imagine. If you're into Chance Eau Tendre or Chance Eau Fraiche or any of those like fruity, clean floral fragrances, I totally recommend this one. I think you will like it. So next up, let's do Sunlit Blooms. So Sunlit Blooms is a salty vanilla white floral fragrance. When I first sprayed this one, it smelled a lot like Nebros from Lattafa, which is a dupe for Billie Eilish's Eilish #1. But I went on like Fragrantica, and it didn't seem like many other people seemed to feel that way, but I don't know, I just got that vibe from the vanilla. The way the vanilla is done in here, it smells to me like the vanilla in Nebras, or with that red berry vanilla combo. For some reason, this reminds me of that. To spoil it a little bit though, I honestly would get Nebras over this. That one's delicious and so yummy. But I do think this would be a lovely like spring version of that, if you do like that fragrance. It's just a vanilla, basically, with a little bit of salt and white florals. So it's quite simple, you know, just a pretty vanilla. I think the name is fitting. It truly smells like Sunlit Blooms. Like, it smells like I'm waking up at like 10 a.m. on the beach, or in a house near the beach, and the sunlight is just on my skin as I'm waking up. It smells like that feeling. It's definitely beachy as well. I think because of that combination of the salt kind of reminds me of the sea a little bit. So the notes on this, according to the tin it comes in, are orange blossom, white floral, and salty vanilla. I don't really know what orange blossom smells like by itself, but I do just get like a little bit of a floral quality to this vanilla. When I was just getting out of high school, I spent the summer in Cape Cod, and this is totally reminding me of how it felt to be there in the summer and just by the ocean every day. So I think this would be a lovely scent to bring with you on vacation, or if you want to be connected to those kinds of memories. I think this honestly is lovely for that. It smells like salty skin on the beach. Let's talk about number 2, fragrance 02. So this is a sandalwood and juniper fragrance, and that really is the main idea. It's just woody and a little green. I almost wanted to say that it smells more masculine, but honestly, this is as unisex as they come, I think. And of course, anybody can wear any fragrance, any scent, note, or whatever it is. Just wear what you like. Scent is subjective. It smells like living in a log cabin. On my skin, it's a tiny bit sweet, but not in an edible way, just a tiny bit sweet, you know, a little bit like sap, kind of. Yeah, it smells like living in a cabin in the woods and tapping maple syrup out of the tree. Although you don't smell the maple syrup, you just smell like the sap. I don't know how maple syrup is made. I know they like hammer the thing, the thing goes in the tree and then the sap comes out and that's maple syrup. I don't know how it works, but what I imagine walking by something like that at the beginning of that process, not when there's maple syrup being collected, but just like when they're putting the tap of the thingy and goes into the tree. Like, I feel like it kind of smells like the beginning of the process of making maple syrup. If that makes any sense at all. It's woody and soft and fresh and warm, and I mean fresh in like it smells natural kind of way. It's not like a freshy. It's an easy reach, I think, if you're into woody fragrances, or if you're into green fragrances. And this would smell amazing on anybody. I think this is a really good daytime, like everyday signature scent kind of thing. It's smooth, it's comforting, and very natural. And it just smells like a nice walk in the woods. Next up, we have fragrance 04, number 4, whatever you want to call it. And again, this is a woody green fragrance, but this is more so giving like men's cologne to me. It smells like burning wood and trees. It smells like a guy, like a lumberjack. I don't know. But it kind of, to me, this one just has a tiny bit of like a BO kind of scent association to me. I think it's because it kind of reminds me of men's deodorant or men's cologne that it's making me think of man smell and like not necessarily in a good way. However, I do think that if a guy smelled like this, he'd be quite attractive. I'm getting like Hagrid vibes. I don't know why I keep associating these. Like in the last video, I described one of the fragrances as being like Dolores Umbridge when she goes into the Forbidden Forest. If you like Harry Potter, subscribe. I love Harry Potter. I guess I'm gonna bring him up in every video, but yeah, it's kind of reminding me of like that kind of person, like just someone who lives off the land and really enjoys being in nature, and like I'm just envisioning like a beard and flannel. Like I think this would be great in the fall and winter. Like I really do see this paired with a flannel and wooden furniture. So the notes on this are fig, black pepper, and patchouli. That together, those three notes together sound like not necessarily my worst nightmare, but just not my ideal perfume. If you like those three notes though, you will like this. Because it really does smell like that. I don't really... The fig comes through a little bit, but it's mainly woody and green, like that patchouli, and the patchouli is probably what's reminding me of BO a little bit. It doesn't smell like BO, but it just reminds me of the smell right before BO on a guy, or if you put on a men's deodorant or something. Like there's no BO yet, but throughout the day it starts to smell like BO, you know? Does any of this make any sense? I hope so. It smells nice, don't get me wrong. Would I like to smell this on a guy? Or anybody? Definitely. But would I wear it myself? Probably not. I will occasionally reach for it because sometimes, you know, sometimes I want to smell like this. Sometimes I want to smell more masculine or whatever, and I would totally reach for something like this, but it's just not something that I would wear that often. But I could totally see this being a daily wear for somebody else. I think it's also more of a daytime wear. I think this is like, what was the last one? Fragrance 02? Where is it? I think if Fragrance 02 is like daytime spring kind of woody green fragrance, I think this is the same daytime wear, but more so for the fall and winter. It's definitely one to check out if you like that kind of scent profile. If you like more masculine leaning scents, I think this would be one to check out. It's a little smoky, it's woody, it's natural and fresh and earthy. I could see myself wearing it to go outside, you know, to be outside because it smells like outside. But I couldn't imagine smelling this like in an office, at school, or at a special event. I just couldn't imagine smelling it in any of those scenarios. I don't find it as wearable for me personally, but for somebody else, I do think this will be one that you really like. So just try it before you buy it, and yeah. Try before you buy any of them, by the way, before you buy any fragrance. I've made the mistake of blind buying fragrances many a time, and I plan to continue doing it because, come on, it's kind of fun. But I can't advise, don't be me. Take my advice and don't do that. Okay, last of these kind of nameless fragrances is number 05. And yet again, another woody, earthy, green fragrance. I like this one better though than the last one. And this is more fresh, I would say. Honestly, between the number 2, 4, and 5, they're kind of similar enough that if you have one of them, I don't think you need another one. Although I forgot to mention, DedCool, part of their mission is that all of their fragrances are layerable, so they're not necessarily, they can stand alone, but they're also intended to be layered together, so that's why some of them can smell kind of similar. So I'm sure you could layer some of these together. I get more of a pepper in this one actually than the last one. Oh, this one's also called Spring. Fragrance 05 Spring, and the notes are incense, moss, and bergamot. The bergamot is there, it just lends itself to a bright citrusiness. I do smell the moss. I think that's the difference between the green quality in this and the last fragrance, is that this one smells more mossy. The incense is coming through as well, but it just gives it sort of a smoky quality to the moss and bergamot. I do think this one is nicely balanced, but I don't find that it's as blended and cohesive as I would like it to be. Like, I can pick out those individual notes. This one stands out to me the least of the last few. It's titled Spring, which I do get, like the first buds of spring, or the first like leaves growing back onto the trees of spring. Like, it's still cold outside and there's still a chill in the air, but things are starting to look up. Things are like, life is coming back into the earth. But as far as incense, moss, and bergamot go, you could totally find other alternatives that smell way better and probably for a better price with better longevity as well. So I don't think I would recommend this one, but do try it if you like the scent profile, because again, scent is subjective. How I'm getting it may be completely different to how you feel about it. It's just not my favorite. So next we have Smiley Face Garden. And I do like this one, actually. It's more floral, which is probably why I like it. But it still has that green, woody, natural quality to it as the last few did. So because of that, floral does smell a little bit more stereotypically feminine as far as fragrances go. If the last one was the just very beginnings of spring and like the leaves coming back onto the trees, this is that same, maybe like a week later when like the flowers are kind of growing back. And I just love floral notes, I really do. So this one is definitely more my speed. It's still woody and green. It's kind of addicting. The woodiness is actually making it kind of addicting to me. Yeah, it's rose, guaiac wood, and musk. Guaiac. It is still kind of a bitter, deep, dark wood smell, but it's counterbalanced by the rose and made wearable by the musk, and I really like that combo. It's more mature and dark and a little sexy too, I think because of that rose. It's reminding me of what I imagine that the girl in Gravity Falls who wears plaid and has the orange hair. I'm forgetting her name right now, but I feel like I imagine this is kind of how she smells. It smells like being outside in the beginning of spring. Yeah, it's just woody and a little floral. It's nice. All right, we've made it to the end, and the final one is Rocco Mint, and I really like this one. It is a floral. It is a jasmine fragrance. Let me just say that, and that's why I like it. It also has a mint note at the very beginning, but that does go away pretty fast. And it's not a spearmint, so it's not like a sweet mint, but it's also not like peppermint, it's just like mint. The mint gives it like a cold quality at first, but also like this like invigorating, like clearing your sinuses kind of thing. And after that, it's a tiny bit woody as well, but the main driver of this to me is the jasmine, and I don't know why I have a very specific memory or like segment of memories that this calls on from when I was younger and going to church. I can smell like whatever flowers were growing around whatever the church I was going to. It smells so much like this, and I don't know if I'm from Massachusetts, by the way. I don't know if jasmine is native to Massachusetts, or if does this even have jasmine? Let's see. Yes, it does. It has Moroccan mint, jasmine, and oak moss. Ugh, yeah, it just smells like green, minty, and jasmine, and I love it. If you're a jasmine girl, you'll get it, because this one's really nice. Some of the DedCool fragrances I find aren't that nuanced, or it kind of just feels like they didn't spend enough time on it, or like that sounds kind of mean, but like some of their fragrances, like Milk for example, are so well blended and thought out, it feels like, but some of the other launches just didn't really feel like that to me. But this one is one of the ones that I do feel like blends and is well done. It's definitely a little woody too. It's like kind of like a, not spicy, almost like a, like kind of like tea. Oh, it's like gingery, a little bit like a ginger kind of kick. It smells very natural though, possibly more so than the rest of them, in the sense that this smells like the actual things that grow in nature, whereas the other ones, they smell like that, but they kind of give me more so the vibe of just being in nature, not necessarily the smell of that nature. But this smells like jasmine and wood and mint. Like, it smells like those ingredients. It still isn't something that I'm gonna wear that often because I have other jasmine scents that I like more. But if you liked Gucci Bloom, for example, but you were kind of like, I wish this had a little bit more variety to it, this might be an interesting one to check out, because it does smell kind of like Gucci Bloom and with that jasmine, but also more deep and woody and gingery. There's definitely something gingery here. It's really only been a few minutes, but that's kind of the main thing that I'm smelling now. I'm sure if I like took a break from it and came back to it, I would get those other notes again, but that ginger does kind of take over a little bit. But if those notes sound good to you, like, that's really what you're getting. So I would definitely check that out if you're intrigued. So yeah, that was all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think my favorites are, from these ones, are probably Aura and maybe Rocco Mint. And my least favorite was fragrance 04. I don't think I'll be buying a full bottle of any of these, to be quite frank with you. I'm just not really willing to spend $90 on a full bottle of any of them necessarily. But I do recommend trying them because you might find one that you really, really like. And if you like other scents from DedCool, you will probably like another one. So check them out if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!